All right, so we're down at our local lake down here. Actually, it's pretty calm, a slight ripple, and actually a break in the weather. My weather here in my home state's been a little bit all over the place, from being cold to being nice. And then lately for me, I've had a lot going in my life for the past 6 months. That's really kind of challenged, from getting boats out and on video, playing with them, tinkering and tuning on them, going through a lot, and I actually had to sell off a lot of my stuff. So but luckily, still staying into the hobby, still having fun, trying to do some racing. And so I wanted to, I've been asked a couple times. So this is this is the cat from J&R Marine, the C32. And so I've been asked by him and a couple other people that they want to see this guy. So I'm bringing it out. I had some break my weather, and so finally just get out of the house and have some fun. So I kind of got like a paint scheme of a I guess you want to call this checker flag. I was just kind of messing around, whatever. I don't know, I may remove that, I don't know. Kind of was supposed to be like a checker flag, but the I don't know, it didn't come out how I wanted it. So for my inside, I got the tenshock 2050 on this. I had a 2300 on it. The boat did 63, and this is 4S. Twin 5000 China Hobby Line 4S lipos 70C, so 10,000 milliamp, with a ABC 1814 3 blade. And so so this is kind of like a testing. So this is the first time run on the 2050. I had the 2300 in here, and the boat did 63 on 4S. And so this is the third time being on the water. And so basically, now you can see what this boat would do. Yeah, so it's just kind of been a little bit of a rough patch for a while for me. So and then today, I was slowly starting to get back into designing parts again. That's where I was working on those battery, I got some battery trays for the C32, and then I was working on a few other things too, as well, with Kobe, going back and forth with him. And so slowly getting back into it. Days. Okay. GPS, track, start. All right, 2050 tenshock. I'm telling you, this boat is really dialed. She turns great. She moves. Not bad, not bad. She flies. Kobe did good on the build. On that prop. Oh yeah. Here, let's see what she's doing. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna make a setup change. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my temperature gun. You know, 58 is not bad. Okay. Well, you know, not bad. 58, maybe a little more tuning. Alright, so we're back from doing some test riding on the new C32 catamaran by J&R Marine. So, you know, on this setup here with the 2050 tenshock, you know, 57, 58 is what I got the boat to run on. You know, first run was 58, second run was 57. And so, you know, still tinkering, you know, testing and tuning the boat. You know, I had a 2300 in there the other, you know, a couple weeks ago, which I ran that, and I wanted to try this 2050. And so, you know, until I kind of get on a better course, get some other people, more testing, then, but, you know, the 2300 did well. I'm still just playing with the setup. I know Big B's been having a lot of fun with his, and so a little bit more inside, you know, tenshock, you know, 2050, that's here. And so I kind of threw this all together. I was kind of going with that orange and black kind of scheme, you know, layout in this. So, you know, battery trays inside, you know, all in there. But, you know, what a great boat. That boat handles quite well. And, you know, Big B's been pushing some good numbers with this. And so truly, you know, J&R and Marine, you did an awesome job when, you know, working out the boat. It's clean. It's good. You know, even the bottom here is clean all the way through. So, you know, got that one, you know, set up. You know, so, you know, got me another, you know, so here's a second one that he sent me here. So I was going to build out as well. You know, this one is a clean slate hull. Haven't done anything with it yet. You know, completely open. So this one, clean slate, I haven't got to that. And then over here is a mono that I got about 2 months ago. This was coming up to my next build right here. So this one's a Rico 34 inch, you know, P mono basically. And what's cool about this company here is they give you all the information on where to mount everything, even like, you know, what to use. And, you know, it's actually pretty cool for all your hardware and stuff like that. It makes things a little bit easier for mounting. You know, this was a custom color I had him do with, you know, the multicolor, stuff like that. And so this one's an upcoming build as well. I'm just waiting for some, you know, parts to come available, then a little bit of cash flow as well. You know, Christmas kind of hurt a little bit, and I'm kind of going through some struggling a little bit on some other things too as well. I am trying to, you know, manufacture some parts again slowly, so bear with me. That's going to take some time to bring some of that stuff back. You know, some is going to take longer than others. You know, it's just down to, you know, money flow and cash. So, you know, so we'll eventually get there, maybe by then, you know, end of the year, you know, back on top again. And so, but, you know, I want to kind of show, you know, some of the collection kind of been up to that, you know, seeing the boat run and overall. So, you know, thanks for watching. Thanks for, you know, staying, you know, true to everything with that, you know, with the hobby and, you know, what everyone kind of does for, you know, for the fun of what they do. Anyways, well, thank you for watching.